I thank the gentleman and rise in support of the Presidential Election Reform Act. But first, let me respond to my colleague from California who partially quoted me in the first impeachment trial. I did, in fact, predict that if the former president was not held accountable for trying to extort Ukraine by withholding military aid to get Ukraine's help to cheat in the election, that he would go on to try to cheat in even new and worse ways in the upcoming election. In fact, I believe I said that the odds were not 5%, not 10%, not even 50%, but 100% that he would go on to try and cheat again. In that, sadly, I was all too correct. Over the last year, the House Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the Capitol has conducted a thorough investigation into the multiple lines of effort by President Trump and his allies to overturn the election. Efforts that included a pressure campaign against the Vice President to violate the Constitution and assume powers he does not hold, to unilaterally reject valid electoral count votes. Our democracy held, but barely. These events have revealed underlying vulnerabilities to our democracy, vulnerabilities that could be exploited in a future presidential election. This bill will help ensure that the will of the American people, as expressed through their votes, cannot be overturned by any official of any political party at any time or for any purpose. Consistent with the Constitution, it raises the threshold for challenging a slate of electors during a joint session of Congress. It reaffirms the role of the presiding officer, that it's a ministerial one. And perhaps most important, it affirms that state officials cannot change the rules of an election after the fact in an effort to overturn the will of the people as expressed through their popular vote. This bill will help ensure that the cornerstone of our democracy, free and fair elections, and the peaceful transfer of power remain in place for future generations of Americans. This is not a partisan task, but a patriotic one. Over the past several months, we have told the story of what happened on January 6th, documenting the events for the American people and for history. May I have another 15 seconds?
The gentleman is recognized.
Now is the time for our committee and this Congress to look to the future. It is my hope that this legislation becomes one of the most significant pieces of our legacy, that it makes our Constitution, our country, and our democracy stronger and more secure. I yield back.